close in the glittering lights. Shoreditch past all the neon signs.
I've always liked the idea of a small compact camera that you could carry with you in a pocket. I just could never justify spending the money on a high-end compact when an iPhone can get you halfway there. But recently, I picked up an RX100 Mark V because of its high frame rate and S-Log shooting capabilities. I was talking to some YouTubers recently and they were asking me if I thought the RX100 Mark V could replace a DSLR. So I decided to get to know my new camera by running it through the gauntlet versus my A7S Mark II. There are a lot of RX100 Mark V videos on YouTube, but I haven't found one that puts all the tests together to show you the real feel of what the RX100 Mark V footage looks and behaves like, especially up against a more expensive camera. Specifically, I wanted to test dynamic range, rolling shutter, stabilization, and low light performance. So let's get into it.
So tell me what you're waiting for. You know the night is what you make it.
Now, dynamic range was tricky for me to test because I don't have a light meter, I'm not a professional DP, so my methods are far from scientific. What I wanted to do was start with an overexposed image where the highlights are clipping, and then remove a stop of light until I lost all detail in the highlights. I noticed a couple of things during my test. Obviously, the RX100 Mark V footage fell apart much faster than the A7S Mark II. On the A7S Mark II footage, I was able to hold about 10.5 stops of detail in the highlights, which is less than the 12 stops that I've seen in the scientific tests online, but that probably says more about my test than it does the camera. Another thing that I noticed in this test was how to correctly expose S-Log. I know it can be tricky for people to grade S-Log who aren't familiar with it, but I found that if you expose the highlights just below clipping and expose the midtones between 60 to 80 IRE, it produced the most pleasing image after grading. Compare this exposure versus an underexposed image. The final result from the underexposed image has a lot of noise in the midtones and really bad color rendition. Another thing I noticed in this test was the highlight roll-off between the two cameras. While the RX100 performed well for a compact, it was definitely less smooth and gradual than the A7S II. The RX100 wins the slow motion test by default. It matches the A7S II in being able to shoot at 60p and 120p for regular slow-mo, but it also has a high frame rate mode where it can shoot 240, 480, and even 960 frames per second for that ultra slow-mo. Although I did notice the quality drop off quite a bit at 960. Now the A7S II wins the low light challenge because it's the king of low light, and it was able to shoot at ISOs well above what the RX100 can. But I was surprised to see just how well the RX100 could shoot up to its max ISO, which is 12,800. Besides, even though the A7S II can shoot really high, how often would you be shooting higher than 12,800? Alright, I'm testing the audio on my two cameras here. RX100 Mark V versus the A7S Mark II. This is an audio test. Alright, I'm testing the audio on my two cameras here. RX100 Mark V versus the A7S Mark II. This is an audio test. Now, this is mainly a review of the video functions between the two cameras, but I wanted to address some of the photo capabilities quickly. They both use the same autofocus system, but the A7S II has 165 points of autofocus, while the RX100V has 315. And then people say that the RX100V has the fastest autofocus out there and can focus in 0.5 seconds. While the RX100 Mark V shoots 24 frames per second with a buffer up to 115 shots, which is like comparing this to this. In conclusion, the answer to the question, can an RX100 Mark V replace a DSLR? Well, the answer depends on what kind of content do you make and what is your final delivery. If you are a professional photographer and your final delivery is for print or for a gallery exhibition, then no, it cannot. But if your final delivery is for your blog or your Instagram or Facebook, then most definitely this camera can. As far as video, are you delivering for broadcast or a movie theater? Then probably the RX100 can't. But if your final delivery is for a home movie, a YouTube video, Facebook, and you aren't getting paid to shoot a commercial, then it probably could replace your mirrorless or DSLR camera. One cautionary thing is that the RX100 Mark V overheats on 4K really fast, so if you are shooting a long interview, then leave this camera at home. Okay, hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the RX100 Mark V and A7S II, and please share this video with your friends and anyone who is considering buying a new camera. Give me a subscribe if you want to see more content, and enjoy the slow-mo footage of my dog running around the park.